Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest. Today I am going to show you inside of my 12 by 12 scrapbook album that houses my project life for 2020. Now, I am not through with 2020. I decided last year in 2021 that I would go back and pick up 2020 because I intended to do Project Life from January of 2020, which is when I started scrapbooking. This was one of the projects I wanted to do, planned to do, bought the materials to work with, had the subscriptions and all that kind of stuff, and I just never did start it. So last year I started and got a couple of months done in 2020 and 2021, and then kind of fizzled out as other projects took over. So this year my goal is to stay current in all 3 years, and that's probably not the best way to describe it. So let's say, for instance, if we're in week 20 of this year, I want to be to week 20 in 21 and also in 20. So staying current in that way is my plan. That way, if I have out materials that are for April, those products will work for all 3 years of project life. If it's something that's seasonal, season specific, it might be something that's related to Thanksgiving and gratitude. And so when I get to that point in the year, I can just work on all 3 of those weeks or months together at the same time. So that is my plan for this year. But I do want to share, I'm not filming process videos for 2020. And I haven't filmed any new ones for 2021. There are some on my YouTube channel, but for 2020, all I did was do a really sped up reel over on Instagram, less than a minute, condensed down, showing me putting everything together. So I thought I would go back through and just show you what I have in these. I love to see people when they share their project life spreads. And I thought I would just do 1 month at the time because I'd like to read my journaling to you. I don't do a crazy amount of journaling, but I love to hear people read journaling in their own voice. It just makes it very meaningful to me. So that will keep the videos from being quite so long, and I won't have to do all this explanation, hopefully, for the other months. But I'd like to try to share these with you, and I hope that you will enjoy seeing them and kind of reliving what life was like at our house from 2020 and 2021. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll take a look at this. So let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at week 1. And I'll just sort of read the journaling because it goes with the pictures for the most part, and that'll sort of explain the pictures. And then if I feel like there needs to be any other explanation, I'll do that. I just feel like this is a way to kind of get to know someone better, to see their project life spreads and just the day-to-day things that are going on. And I'll also tell you about the products that I use. And I'll try to go fairly quickly. Again, I don't want these videos to get too long. So for week 1, I did start with Sunday, December the 29th of 2019, because I like to run my weeks from Sunday to Saturday in Project Life. I know a lot of people do Monday to Sunday. I just prefer mine to be Sunday to Saturday. So that made a full 7 days by including that here on this spread. So for this picture up here, I said I'm starting a new Hobonichi Techo 5-year journal this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And it is a journal where you have 5 years listed out, like January the 1st of 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. And you write a little bit on each day, and then you can kind of look back and see what you were doing on those 5 years on that same day. That's the premise. Spoiler alert, I did not keep up with it, which I really regret, but I still have it. Maybe I'll pick it back up one day. Then this one is, my one little word for this year is live, and I chose John 10:10 as a verse to go with it. And I picked live because we had a lot of big plans, a lot of big milestones to celebrate in 2020. All of them got ruined by the pandemic, so there'll be more to that story coming up as we see future weeks. I'm really looking forward to reading through this daily devotional from Joyce Meyer, The Confident Woman. And it was a very good devotional. I did finish it that year. It's a daily devotional. Piper and Ellie love hanging out together. They must have been on the lookout for something. They were both kind of looking down the hall at the same time. And I love to get pictures of them showing their size difference. We're talking 4 pounds versus over 160 pounds. And then we started a Hunter Killer subscription where we get to pretend to be detectives with very authentic looking evidence. And this is, if you enjoy true crime, if you enjoy mysteries, that kind of thing, this is an excellent game to play. The detail that goes into the evidence is just amazing. I mean, you really feel like you're looking at the real authentic stuff. So very enjoyable for a date night at home or with friends or whatever. And then I said VIP Kid has encouraged each teacher to commit to doing something small towards their health every day this year. I was teaching with VIP, my goodness, my words. I was teaching with VIP Kid at the time, which teaches English to students in China online. And so I was doing that. I'm no longer doing that. But this was what I chose to do to move my body at least 30 minutes every day. Most of the title cards and a lot of the other journal cards are going to be from the Allie Edwards Stories by the Year kit, where there was just lots of cards, lots of 4x6, lots of 3x4 journal cards. And so that's where most of this has come from. And then just kind of random chipboard, and these are some puffy stickers and things like that. And so some of this I really don't remember where it came from. Hopefully as I go through the year and I'm working on it now instead of a year ago, it'll be more familiar in my mind. All right, for week 2, I said I'm ready to focus on my one little word for this year, live. So this was the start of my vision board, which is how I've always done my vision boards. Things weren't adhered down yet, so it's not like really straight and perfect, but mine have always been very straight, organized, square, grid-like, not free-for-all magazines, but I did go that route this year, and I did enjoy it. I started a declutter and reorganize challenge this week. So I took a picture of the inside of the fridge and the pantry because those were going to be some things coming up that were going to be worked on in that organizing challenge. And I don't remember if it was through Clean Mama or something else, but it was like a program that you followed. Listing out some final numbers as we fine-tune our trip to Europe. So my husband wanted to kind of just see where we were at with how much we had spent, how much more we needed to prepare to spend. And so I just wrote everything out on 2 pieces of paper and took pictures of those. And I thought that would be interesting to include in here. Another spoiler alert, we were supposed to leave the day after lockdowns initially began in March. So very upset about that. And then just a filler card with some chipboard. And then I said, my sweet Ellie is wearing the cutest little dress as she naps under my desk. She loves to sleep in her little poof, which has now been taken over pretty much by the cats. And then making, printing, cutting, and laminating class materials for my VIP Kids students. So I really put a lot of work into that job and really did enjoy teaching those students. They were awesome students to work with. All right, for week 3, I used the January memory stamp from the Stories by the Month kit for, it would have been 2020's kit, and that was one of the stamps on a little stamp set that was included. Used a lot of cork stars, trying to use up some of those as well as a little word phrase sticker on each one of them. This one says, the earth is alive, together, her, start now, one thing at a time, and a new day. So this journaling is a little longer, so bear with me. We have had so much rain over the last few days. The water level coming over the dam is very deep and the falls are flowing very violently. It's always interesting to see what High Falls State Park looks like after heavy rain. We've seen it higher, but not by much. So we back up to this state park where we live, and so we like to see what the falls and the dam look like after we have crazy rains at this time of the year. These two girls are so sweet with each other. I love when they lay together. It also gives a glimpse into the size difference between Piper and Ellie. Ellie got a new thunder vest because she gets so scared during bad weather, and it helps a little bit. Austin's little Miata was having engine trouble. When something like that happens, our driveway turns into a mechanic shop, as Olin has always done all of the work on all of our vehicles. Once Austin got his car over to our house, they began to tear it down and got right to work. Olin and Austin worked all day and well into the night. They didn't quite finish the entire job in one day, but they made great progress. I'm always amazed at how mechanically inclined Olin has always been, and Austin seems to have inherited that gene. The sky can be so beautiful during the winter at sunrise and sunset. I love this view out of our yard. Just look at those clouds and those colors. They are absolutely gorgeous. The different shades of pink make me so happy. It's almost like pink ruffles in the sky. So that is week 3. And this one, I honestly don't know where that card was. That doesn't look like one from the Stories by the Year kit, so I'm not sure about that one. And then for week 4, which was the 19th through the 25th, again, I'm still documenting about my one little word. My acrylic piece had come in, so I've got that. And so it just says my one little word, live. And all of these say loving, 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 loving. And my new acrylic piece, so those two kind of go together. Organizing, so this was taking everything out of the pantry and giving it a good refresh. Having an abundance of food in the house, so that also goes with this photo. My charm for my one little word album, so I had ordered this charm and it came in this week. Date night and our new Hunt a Killer box, so this was some of the work that we were doing to try to solve that case. And Austin's Miata being fixed. So here he is, he's 6'1", and he's in that little Miata. And on this one I used, I think these were hearts from Allie Edwards. They're kind of little puffy hearts. And then I just put a few little word phrase stickers with those. And then I'm going to go ahead and include week 5 because it's mostly January again. So it's January the 26th through February the 1st. And it says a little story about life here on the title card. And some of these are very minute details, but you know, they're part of life and they're just things that I want to include. So like this one, I just said this little mono sand eraser came all the way from Japan. So it came airmail, that one little eraser, this one right here that I'm still using, came airmail all the way from Japan, which I thought was just too funny, which is what I wrote there. And then I'm getting my Harmony handbook set up. So this was something that I was doing with the Reset Girl. She did listing, and then she did a couple of different notebook like classes and things like that that you could take with her. This was the first time I attempted Photoshop, so I said learning. So I had on my computer, I had Allie's class pulled up, and then on my laptop, I was working on doing what she was doing in the class. Ellie wanted to help me teach English to my Chinese students. Silly girl, she had to sit in my lap while I was teaching, so it was quite hilarious. And then this one says, when I saved this photo below, I had no idea this was Tashi or that I would see a lot more of her. And I picked this, or I saved this photo because it says live life like someone left the gate wide open. And so the live part really spoke to my one little word. And so I saved the photo just so I'd have this little quote. And then when I realized that later on it was Tashi, I included it in my Project Life album. Just, you know, kind of funny how sometimes we find people through a backwards path or whatever. So that is January of 2020 in my Project Life album. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up down below, and please consider hitting that subscribe button if you have not already. There will be possibly some close-ups at the end, possibly some over on Instagram. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go about that just yet, but I do so appreciate you stopping by today. It means more to me than you will ever know. And until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.